see here. I've got the Rembrandt in, got the Carlton, the T Swift as well. So accounted for, and oh, what about you? You are interesting, to say the least. Definitely were not as well taken care of from the looks of it, but aren't we all? Let's see here. You know what, let me get my assistant to come in and give me a bit more of your history, because I'm not seeing much about you at the moment. Okay. Oh, can you come out here a minute, dear? Great, thank you. Did you happen to have the history on this very interesting painting? Yes, I didn't have any of it in my notes here. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you just tell me a little bit about it, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I know, don't worry. You can get the paperwork to me later. I know how slow the office can be. They kept up with how quickly we do our work, then we'd be able to get all these artworks out and ready for the curators much faster. But it's not my job, I guess. Okay. Okay. So we're thinking 78 to 87 years old. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. Do we know anything about the artist at all? Okay, so you're assuming it's her? Yeah. I can see here in like the lines and the particular markings up in the upper corners of the art here that remind me of her work for sure. But I don't know. Something about it doesn't scream Amelia to me. Though it could be, if you're looking at that timeline, you're saying an earlier work of hers. Yes. Fascinating. Was there any other theories on that as well? For sure, okay. And I really do not have any info on this one. Was there any info on where we got this piece from? A random donation. Okay. It's interesting. Usually we have people who want to get their name kind of in a gallery or whatever, just for donating pieces from their collection. Okay, well that is all fantastic. So I guess I'll go through then, especially since you guys don't have very much history from this one, and we don't know who the donator was. I'm going to go through, I'm going to get some of those measurements. Yes, I can do that as well. I can do a basic inspection before we send it off to the restoration team, for sure. And then I will try to do a bit more research on it, and I'll see if, it's worth putting into the new Dawson Hall. We could put it in the other one, but if we're trying to do new and more recent works from artists, especially if it's from someone in the area, then I want to see if we can get it out there, but it's very interesting, so I don't know if it will go with all the other types of paintings we're showing, but yes, I see what you're saying. You can change around everything, be a bit more of a pulling piece. That is true. Maybe we can get the social media team to, even if it's not Amelia or other famous work, we can get the media team to push out how intriguing this painting is. Alright, well, give me a shout if anything. And thank you so much, dear. You're much appreciated. Alright, I'll see you around. Well, as you heard then, my dear, I'm definitely going to be working on a couple things with you today to see if, we can judge and critique if you're worthy enough to be in our Dawson Hall, as I said. But maybe you're just interesting enough. Okay, well, take some basic notes about you first. You have what is this? Like it's starting to flake even a little bit, goodness. Interesting, okay. So you have a bit of a say a wooden frame. You've got this gold to kind of a rose gold paint around it, though I feel like it was definitely not a professional, quite obviously, so it might not have been done by the painter, because the painting, you yourself, I should say, are quite interesting, to say the least. Not my favorite, if I'm being honest, works, but you've got a tone of professional strokes to your lines and to your blending, especially particularly on this street line here. But the frame is just tacky and flaky almost. Okay, I'll say the frame does not seem to be a professional job. Not the painter? Question mark, question mark, question mark. The type of paint as well. This is very interesting to me. The paint if you are 78 to 87 years old, then this paint, at least from the material that I can tell, is going to place itself, maybe I'm going to place it 10 to 12 years later. Okay, interesting. Alright, so that's the frame for now. Now for your own painting assessment here, like you may have been hearing me talk to my colleague, you have a bit of these particular strokes, especially in the top right and left corners. They're indicative of Amelia, but unless you are a very early work of hers, when she was still experimenting before she found her full true style, then I don't know if you are Amelia painting. See, the one interesting thing is there's a patch of something here that's been painted over gently. Don't touch that too much. Gentle paint job there. Amelia, question mark, question mark, question mark. Paint in bottom right corner, indicative of painting over name, question mark. If you are an Amelia piece, and an early one at that, maybe, possibly, she could have painted over your bottom right corner if she had put her original non-artist name, I should say, there. A lot of artists repaint over paintings or paint over their name if they don't want to have their old name associated with it, or maybe she just felt sorry to say, embarrassed by your final result, we'll say, and didn't feel like it suited her, so she didn't want to destroy it, but she wanted to keep you around, but maybe cover the name so, you know, she wasn't associated with that painting. No offense to you, my dear. Okay. That. Because otherwise, you are Amelia painting the age and slight time period, at least your painting itself, minus the frame, matches up. To get a new page. But that's the thing. I'm unsure if it's going to work or not. Let me see here. Okay. Let's see. So, time period would be around the time maybe her early works. The top right strokes. In terms of your theming and your topic, you're very vaguely related to the abstract landscapes, cityscapes that Amelia would do. Though you're much more, I think you're more realistic, but you've been caused to be unintentionally abstract just because the artist maybe was either A, unskilled, or B, a beginner, because you've got a lot of attempts at realism here, but I can see in these like street lines, they're not even. Some of the buildings in the background here and some of the slight little trees are off, unlevel. Like it looks at a glance like you're an abstract cityscape, but then in reality I feel like this is just more due to a beginner. But I'll make a note of that. Maybe we can have the media team, if you are Amelia, talk about that abstractness. Okay. I like it. Do I like you? Possibly. But you seem like an interesting piece that we might be able to make work in the museum. Okay, let me take some quick measurements of you here. A lot of this work will be done by the restoration and the historical team, but I want to just get a basic understanding of you. 12, good. Height. I'm just measuring from your frame to your frame here first. Good. And I'm going to reach to the side and see if I can get your depth as best as possible. You're a pretty wide painting, surprisingly. Maybe like a handmade frame on the back in terms of what your material was stretched over. Okay, but now I'm just gonna measure just you minus your ugly frame there. Okay, that's good. And from up here, a little bit more there. Give it a little bit extra. Okay, good. And one more for the width of your canvas. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been a long day. Hopefully, you'll be my last one before I can take a bit of a break again. Let's see there. Okay. Finish. Excellent. Okay. I've got some books here on some of Amelia's works because I'm getting this growing inkling, I'll say, that you might be, if not one of her early works, maybe related to her somehow. We'll give it a look and see. We've got of the old curiosities and works of Amelia Bonaparte. International Collections Library Collection. Howard Regards. International Collection Library History. Okay, I'm gonna go for this one in particular. So I've got a little more history on the older works of Amelia here. The historians can do more with you in terms of research and things like that, but when paintings like you come through my door where we don't immediately know who made it, but we're at least slightly intrigued by you, I kind of do the basic measurements, assessments, research, note-taking, so then I know who exactly to divvy out the work to, which teams you kind of need to go to first, and make up some initial notes to send over with you so that the other communities and teams know kind of where to start looking in terms of your history. If we do put you in our museum, or in our gallery section of the museum, I should say in particular, you might take weeks, 3-6 months, in just research stages, depending on how long it's going to take to assess you. You thankfully don't seem, until I do that final inspection, in much disrepair. It's really just your frame that's the issue. So that's good, because some works we have, we know immediately who they're by, but they take months and months to restore in a very slow, very detailed, careful process. Oh! Okay, I think I'm almost there. I got early works, let's take out the thing. Okay. So they've noticed with the 3 different paintings from the time thing, there was that dismarking. Okay, we're getting somewhere. That what Amelia was known to do in her early first 3 to 5 years only as a young painter. Interesting. So she would do that in terms of carrying on her old name. She had possibly gone back as she got more involved and better at her work industry. Okay, and she raised it to make it so that, oh yeah, it's a little sad. Does it say anything about the particular strokes that were there? Her early work. Okay, her early work's at the lines of the thing there and the taking on. Okay. Well, I am going to make a quick note of this for the team. Okay, so that I will send this book with them. Highlight some of this, and I'm going to annotate a bit. Please note similar markings on top right and top left sides of the art. Okay. Well, it is estimated to be an early work. Okay. Well, we might be getting somewhere dear with this. But I think that's all I can do in terms of research at this moment. I think now, ultimately, I'm going to do a quick inspection of the quality of your paint, of the canvas, see how much work and restoration is going to need to be done on you, because ultimately I am the one who decides if you're worth restoring and putting up in the gallery or not. So you hold on there. gloves on here, just so if I'm directly touching you, it's not getting all my oils and things from my hands or other paintings on you. Okay, good. And I've got this little pointer here that's not very pointy. And I'll just be gently touching your ears. This is going to help me tell, too, if there's any flakes coming off. So I'm going to do your painting part first because... Okay. Just going to do a gentle taps, taps. Good. Nothing coming off there. Good. Nothing coming off there. Good, good, good. Look at that. Good, okay. So I'm not too worried about none of the flaking of the paint is happening, even as I'm gently prodding and touching it, which is excellent. That is one of the biggest issues we have with some of our other paintings that we have had our teams work crazy hard to restore just because, you know, they're a very famous artist or something that we don't have that era of in our collection. And often with those, we'll see that the paint is just flaking right off. Okay, now I'm going to gently touch you, pat. Okay. Just most gentle. Good. Good. Okay, again, nothing on my fingers here. I'm seeing no water damage, which is great. That is kind of our biggest issue. That or mold. So actually, I'm not seeing anything on the front, but I am going to get behind you for a second and check, okay? I'm just going to lift you here, okay? Let me see. Alright. Yeah. No, there's no damage on the back here. That is excellent, excellent, excellent. No problems here. And what about on the other side here? Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, so no water damage, no mold. That is excellent. That is a big worry. So let me see here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I think you as a painting are in great condition. We could not have asked for better. Now, and that does help, you know, you being only 70 to 80 something years old. Generally, we see a lot of damage with either art that's not been properly stored, so it's gotten like water or other damage in an attic or a basement or a shed or something, or B, art that just is, you know, a couple 100+ years old. Or a little bit of a combo of the two, unfortunately. So finally, to end off, dear, I need to see your frame here. I'm assuming that we're just going to fully replace your frame if we were to process you and put you in the gallery. Because it's just, this frame will not do. I'm sorry, your frame is really bad. Again, I don't know if it was the artist later on did a bad slapping on wood paint job. And like, the frame is not very nice anyways, even without the paint. It's very bland, very basic. Something, it almost looks like you could buy in a store. It's not handcrafted or anything. No intricate details, which I don't think this piece needs it because it's got that intrigue, but let me see here. Oh yeah. Yep. There is some paint definitely coming off on my hands here. Okay, well that's okay. We've got a good collection of good frames that I'm sure one of our curators could set you up with. Because I hate to break it to you, but you are growing on me just a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't get too ahead of yourself here. I think you've got a lot of interest, and you could garner a lot of interest in our gallery. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that is that. I'm going to make my final notes here before I send you off. So we're going to note that number 1, replace frame, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, paint chipping and not good quality. Does not seem to be done by the original painter. Assessment appears to be a Amelia Bonaparte painting. Possible early works, childhood, question mark, question mark. Please see further notes and details. Painting itself is in great condition. May just need some re-oiling. Well, my dear, in my professional opinion, I believe that you are past this part of the critique and assessment. I'm going to send you off to our historical, curator, and restoration teams, respectively, to get them to get some final notes and research on maybe who donated you, confirmation that you're Amelia. Our restoration team can even try to remove this like little extra bit of paint that seems to be painted over a name. So all that. But lucky you, you should be welcomed into our gallery. Well, good meeting you, and I will probably see you around in a bit, or when you're up in our gallery. All right. See you later. Bye now.